All right, everyone, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about a very specific kind of exhaustion. It's this quiet, nagging feeling that, well, you might recognize it, but you've probably never really had the words for it. It's the kind of tired that sticks around, even when, on paper, your life looks perfectly fine. So let's start peeling back the layers.
From the outside looking in, everything seems to be humming along just fine. You've got the job, the relationship seems stable, you're going through the motions every day. There's no big, dramatic crisis, no obvious fire that needs putting out.
And that's exactly what makes it so confusing, right? There isn't one clear thing you can point to and say, that's it, that's the problem. So when people ask how you are, saying you're tired feels like a massive understatement. But anything more feels, well, like you're just complaining. There's just no easy explanation.
But oh, you are. And it's a tiredness that goes so much deeper than just needing more sleep. It's a fatigue that a vacation or a long weekend just doesn't touch. It's this weariness that feels like it's settled deep in your bones, and it's probably been there for a lot longer than you'd like to admit.
The first word that probably comes to mind is burnout. We've all used it. But even as you say it, there's this little voice inside that goes, that's not quite it. It feels like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. The diagnosis just feels, incomplete.
Okay, so look at this distinction here. It's absolutely crucial. Burnout, the way we usually think about it, is about depletion. It's the fatigue of doing way too much, you've just run out of gas. But this other thing, what we're going to call misalignment, that's totally different. That's the exhaustion that comes from being someone you're not. It's the fatigue of running as hard as you can, but in the completely wrong direction. So the problem isn't your pace, it's your path.
And that brings us right to the heart of the matter. This kind of exhaustion, it's not really about what you're doing. It's about who you're being. The term for this in psychology is identity value misalignment. It's basically this gap that opens up between the life you're actually living day to day and what you genuinely, deep down, care about. And this isn't just some vague idea. There's a real, measurable cost. It creates this slow, chronic leak of your energy and your vitality. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? It's the hidden cost of performance. You're playing a part, a version of yourself that you think you're supposed to be, and you do it for so long that you forget you're even wearing a costume. But your body, your nervous system, they never forget, and it is profoundly draining. And believe it or not, we can even see this in the brain. When your actions don't line up with your true self, there's a part of your brain, your internal conflict monitor, that just stays quietly humming in the background. It sees this gap as a kind of slow-motion threat. So your nervous system is always holding on to this low-grade tension, constantly burning through the energy that's meant for real survival, not just for getting through another Tuesday. Now, this is really important to understand. This pattern of behavior, it didn't begin as some kind of mistake or character flaw. It actually started as a brilliant, absolutely necessary survival strategy, usually way back in childhood. Think about it. When you're a kid, your number one job is to get your needs met, to connect, and to survive. So you get really good at detecting what the adults around you want. You adapt. You figure out which parts of you get a smile, get approval, and then you start to build your personality around that. It's an incredibly intelligent thing to do. The only problem is that program just keeps running on autopilot, long after you've grown up and the original circumstances are gone.
And here's the really cruel twist in all of this. You'd think that achieving those goals, getting the promotion, buying the house, all the things you were told you should want, would bring you some relief. But it often does the exact opposite. It can make the exhaustion even worse, because every success just takes you another step down a path that was never really yours to begin with.
This just captures that feeling so perfectly. You can do everything right, check all the boxes, and still feel completely disconnected from your own life. It's like you're a tourist walking through a museum of someone else's accomplishments, even though they're technically yours. The success feels hollow because it doesn't resonate with who you really are.
So, what on earth do we do about this? Well, the very first step is a pretty radical shift in perspective. We have to learn to stop seeing this fatigue as a problem to be solved and start seeing it as a message to be decoded. I really want you to let this one sink in. Your exhaustion is not proof that you are failing or that you're broken. It is a signal. It's the clearest message your internal system can send you that says, hey, this isn't working anymore. It's basically a compass, and it's pointing you back towards a life that actually fits you.
So here's your first assignment, and notice it begins with quiet observation, not with making huge, drastic changes. Step 1, just listen to the signal. Start treating your fatigue like data, not like an enemy. Step 2, ask the quiet question. Look at the big areas of your life, your job, your relationships, how you spend your free time, and just gently ask, which parts of this truly belong to me? And which parts did I pick up along the way because I thought I should? And finally, step 3, notice the friction. Pay attention to your energy. What activities, what conversations feel heavy and draining? And what, on the other hand, feels quietly energizing or natural, even if it's difficult? That friction, that feeling of constantly swimming upstream, that's the feeling of misalignment. The things that give you energy, that's where you'll find what's truly yours.
You know, just sitting with those observations without judgment is often the first real rest a person has had in years. It's the beginning of a whole new kind of conversation with yourself. So the ultimate question here isn't, how do I get rid of this exhaustion? The real question is, what new life is this exhaustion trying to guide me toward? And that is the inquiry that can change everything.